This is Hauling Success, a podcast that focuses on operational excellence and logistics, diving into the real-world strategies, tools, and insights that help transportation and trucking companies run smarter, grow stronger, and scale with confidence.
Welcome to Hauling Success. This is Pamela Polyak, and I am joined today by Mr. Cedric Young. We are going to be talking about the different roles that you can play within an organization. And lucky for me, I have my hands on Mr. Cedric Young, who has decided to join us, who went from being a driver, an employee, an owner-operator, a dispatcher, to now wanting to go back into the truck. So we are going to talk about his story, his journey, and what the impact on him has been throughout, and his family. He doesn't know that. We're going to talk about family life too and what that looks like. But we are ready to dive in right away and go after it. We're going to start by talking about our story, meaning how did we meet? How did Cedric even get to know what Polyak is about? How did we meet? And then kind of follow his journey throughout the last several years, almost a decade. Right? Almost a decade. We're getting old. It's almost a decade of knowing each other and kind of seeing where everybody's at and then learning and growing. And we're just going to talk about the journey. So let's start. How did you hear about Polyak?
I got a good friend named Darian. Great friend named Darian. And he was an owner-operator over here. And we kind of pretty much been at the last few jobs together. Grade school, we met in second grade. We've been friends since. So, but that's how I met you and Polyak team.
So Darian was an owner-operator, and you decided to come on as an owner-operator or an employee?
No, I came on as an employee first. Yep. Came on as an employee first. And me and Darian obviously became closer. We worked together more. And I started working for Darian. And then after I worked for Darian, I eventually came back. By my own truck. Yeah, that's
I was gonna say you don't remember the process.
Right. Okay, so that's what happened. So
well, you were in as an employee for a year. You want to know why I remember that year?
What you remember that year?
I remember that year because at the year mark, you got a bonus for being here for a whole year. And the very next day you quit. And I was like, this guy, what is going on? And you left and you did dump truck for a little bit, right?
Yes. I did dump trucks for just that season.
Yep. It was only a couple months.
Right. I left it was going into the summer. So I left and did dump truck from April to Thanksgiving roughly. And then that's when I saved up enough money, got me a truck, and came back as an operator. But I told you though, when I left you, what did I tell you? What did I say?
You said you were never leaving me.
That's exactly what I said.
And you haven't. You did technically leave for a year, but I'll give you that. So there's the lesson from being a business owner that year bonus kept him around for a little bit, but then changed tunes after that. Right. I was pretty upset, to be honest. I was not happy. And he knew it. So in full candid, there was lots of conversations around whether he should repay me that money back versus keep it. But obviously you did come back. So you came back as an owner operator. What was your thought process in those, it was almost 6-8 months or so of that dump truck you were in? What was kind of your thought process during that time period? Knowing in your mind you wanted to come back.
I would say trying to elevate, trying to build a new life, build a new me, like start something, do something that I've never done before. Take those chances that Pam always preaches. Listen, even when Pam is not around, she's around. Like she always, like you hear her talking in the back of your head. But it was
I am God.
It was definitely to come back and just do things that, change it up a little bit,
Well, and you saved for a truck, so you were
Mhm.
able to buy your own truck during that during that
Mhm.
process.
Mhm.
Um, albeit I'll speak candidly because that's what this whole podcast is about.
That's what
Albeit
we do.
it was not, still is not the best running truck out there, not the
Not at all.
newest, not the
Not at all.
greatest,
It's not.
by any means, but it gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
I strongly emphasize, and this is just a saying that I put out there for the world, is typically don't buy a sleeper if you don't plan on ever sleeping in it.
Mhm.
So you being a local driver,
Mhm.
wanted to be in Milwaukee, wanted to be home every night, you bought a day cab.
Mhm.
Perfect. Smart move. You listened. Yay. Okay, so how many years were you an owner operator for? Do you
4
remember?
years. 4 years? 4 years, right? 4 years.
4 or 5,
Yeah,
something
because
like
I've
that.
been in the office for 2 yeah, so 4 years. 4 years.
Okay, let's go one more step before we moved you into the office.
Okay.
What was it like being an owner operator going to a sales meeting with me?
Oh, when I say I was nervous, I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like I didn't belong. Because I never been there. I never seen what that looks like. But when I got there, everybody was cool. They made me feel very, very welcome, and I just do what I do best. Listen, learn, see what I can pick up from it, and take it to the next meeting. And that's what I did with that.
That was perfect. So, in all candidness, this is kind of how it started, is that Cedric kind of became a natural leader. The drivers would call him, ask for his advice. He had been there for quite a few years, so everybody was kind of gravitating towards Cedric, and there was this natural go to with him and being a leader. And when we ended up getting a customer that it was going to be some dedicated shuttle work, um, I wanted Cedric to do it. And I brought him in on those sales meetings, which I knew it was your first meeting. It was your first time ever in a room with suit and tie type people. But
Definitely.
they really didn't act they didn't act
Mm.
that way.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't
It
from
was
that
very
notion.
welcoming, warm.
Yep, and that's exactly it. So that was really your first experience for kind of seeing more of like the corporate world, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got we've got the meetings. Now we spent, what was it, the next year and a half, something like that. You were dedicated to this
Mhm.
route,
Yeah.
where you kind of made it your own
Yeah.
and kind of made it your own thing.
Mhm.
And then I threw a curveball. Which we call it a curveball.
Yeah.
We call it an
Mhm.
audible. In
Yeah.
some worlds,
Yeah.
a pivot, whatever
We
the
did.
case is.
We did.
But I had asked you
Yeah.
to come in and be a dispatcher, and you said pound sand. You did not want to do
No.
that whatsoever.
I did not.
Okay, why?
I just felt like, honestly, I felt like it would be too much. I felt like I wasn't capable of being able to sustain a like a big company like this. Like, I felt like I'm always in my shell. I do my own thing. I just felt like it would be too much for sure. That's how I felt. Like, no, I'll pass.
Do you know what I felt?
What did you feel?
That you were going to get it done, and you were going to do it the right way, and you were going to make it happen.
And I appreciate you. And I
Fa-
that.
fa- Fast forward about, what was it, about 6 months or so?
Yeah, well, 6 months.
Yep, we ran into a second situation in which I had a trip planned. We had
Yes.
another employee out for some personal issues that we just
Mhm.
couldn't change around times.
Mhm.
And I called him up with compliments of my business coach, and we tag teamed him and
They jumped me. Shout out
and jumped
drag.
you.
They jumped me.
Yep, talked you into coming in the office, but it wasn't under the pretense that it was only supposed to be about 45 days. It was just
Mhm.
supposed to be to get us to the other side of what was kind of happening internally and some personal stuff going on.
Mhm.
It was just intended to get us to the other side. When I got back in the office, do you remember what your statement was to me?
What'd I say?
Can I get the name on the bottom of my email now? You wanted that email signature,
I
and I
did.
was like,
I did.
does that mean you're sticking around?
Yeah, I
And you
did.
said yes.
I did say
You said
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
So what was the last year and a half now? I think it's been about a year and
2
a half
years.
in the office
Oh, 2
dispatching?
2 years.
2.5 years?
Yep, 2.5 years.
Man,
Mm,
time flies when you're having fun. Okay.
no,
So what's been the good, the bad, and the ugly from the last 2.5 years?
Oh, Imma start with the ugly.
Ooh, okay.
Let's get it out the way first. Let's knock it out. Listen, the
Okay.
ugly, when it's ugly around the office, it's ugly. Like nobody's talking, everybody is humping, everybody is doing work, everybody is pulling together as a team. I think that it's not really ugly because Polyak is a team, man, it's a team effort. And nobody's gonna leave nobody high and dry. It's not that whole that's not my department or that's not my job or not. That's not how Polyak works. So it's very it's busy. It's busy when it's ugly. But time go by fast and you typically learn what to do and how to do it. Now the best part of it, oh man, the stuff I learned. The way I look at drivers now, customers, brokers, 3PLs, the everything, safety, hours of service, just complete. It's a complete 180 for sure. And I've always known that, but to see it from this angle or this view, it's different. And now I understand, how logistics really works. And the stuff I learned is priceless.
So
And
we're gonna dive into all of that.
okay, cool,
Don't get me wrong. We're
cool.
gonna dig like crazy in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get everybody up to speed as to where you're at right now.
Okay.
You came to me, what was it, about 3 months ago, maybe,
Yeah.
and said, just to be clear, I want I want to go back in a truck.
Just to be clear.
Just
No,
to be clear.
just so we're all clear.
Yep. And that was the
Just-
tagline you decided to hashtag it with. So we're
Yeah.
gonna just keep going with that. From my perspective, I was pretty shocked. I felt like things had been going real smooth. I felt like you had some decent work-life balance going on,
Mhm.
and you were able to benefit with these changes.
Mhm.
Truth be told, the other part of the shock part was that you had come to your first conference um, with me just months prior, and you just knocked that out of the park. We had talked about it. You had done fantastic. You networked. You saw all the suits in the room. You talked a good game. You got the sales piece down. I thought we were moving and grooving, and all of a sudden, this guy hits me with a. Just to be clear, I want to go back in a truck, and I went, huh?
Yeah.
So we have been in the process of training a new dispatcher. We had to go through all the interview process. Now we are knee deep into training our new dispatcher so that Cedric can go into a truck.
Yes.
Um, and right now we are still debating and kind of going back and forth as to whether he wants to go back to being an employee driver or an owner operator driver.
Mhm.
So we're going to kind of work through that scenario as well a little bit because we still don't have it figured out. So we don't even have all the numbers in front of us. We've got a couple question marks, but we're actually going to talk through all of that and just be real candid about where we're at, what kind of conversations we've been having, and figure out what's best for him, but also trying to help other people kind of see where the good and the bad and the ugly kind of come from in this entire industry as a whole, right? Because almost at this point, you've hit dang near every aspect of it. Because
Absolutely.
as part of your job as dispatching, you were also doing logs, you were doing more of like driver safety management, you were doing driver write-ups for disciplinaries on lates. So you also had this driver management type role that in much bigger companies would be separated, but obviously, we're a small fry from that aspect of it. Of the people have to wear multiple hats, and that was the hat that you got to wear with it as well. So we'll kind of dive into all of that you learned. But you ready? Let's go.
Right.
First question. When you moved into dispatching, What changed about how you see drivers? And what do drivers get wrong about dispatchers?
How I look at drivers now is, I don't know. I still looked at them the same way, I think. Because I'm always consider myself a driver, so I kind of don't look at them no different. But what they get wrong as dispatchers that they don't care, they don't know, they don't have a clue, they don't know what it feels to be out here. That's no. I can tell you how to do your route better than you could tell yourself how to do it. I done did it. I done sat in that chair. And
Okay.
I think that's why I'm a good dispatcher that I'm told.
That you're told you're a good dispatcher. You
Mhm.
are. You just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. So
So it when and you've made this comment to me a few different times about kind of the whininess level, right? We can
yes.
say it in a very politically correct way, but
Of
there
course
can
not.
be a lot of complaining done by drivers,
Mhm.
or drivers feel like they're getting the short end of the stick, or they're treated unfairly, or somebody else has a better route than them.
Mhm.
How do you kind of navigate that now versus what you were seeing before being in the office?
Um, I would say no work, no play, no sun, no rain. That's that
Oh,
that's what
wait,
it
what?
is.
Say that again.
No work, no play, no sun, no rain. Like you got to take it. You can't
All
every
right.
day in a sunny day. Like what we gonna do? Like I don't. I'm a real solution based person, so I don't got time to be whining and crying. I got to figure out what's next. I got to
And that,
figure out
ladies and
what's on the
gentlemen,
floor
is why
next.
I love Cedric so much. Just get it done, right? And
That's
that
it.
was
Let's get it done.
And you were kind of like, I mean, that's where you became the driver leader even before you were in the office. Drivers would come to you kind of complaining about things, and you were pretty easily be able to put things at bay and put
Mhm.
things in perspective. I think you saw more of the bigger picture than what you even realized. And that's
Mhm.
why when I wanted you in the dispatcher role, you were just able to kind of slide right in there pretty easily. You saw the customers, you knew
Yeah.
what was going
Mhm.
on,
Yeah.
um, and you were able to talk them through
Mhm.
what they needed to do to accomplish things the right way, right?
Mhm.
All right. So if someone came to you today with 2 years of experience trying to decide what they wanted to do next, what do you think you would have them choose between the different paths? Would you
Between
say the employee driver, owner operator, dispatcher, in office? What would you kind of help them see?
I would let them. I would. Well, I try to be honest as much as possible. So I would lay it down there like, hey, look, we can go through the lower boards. We can go through. This is what's out here. This is what's going on. And then I'll also show them how much these truck repair shops are charging by the hour. Like, man, you blow a tire, then what? Like, roll calls. I see it all. So I would say if you really, really want to do it after seeing that data, if you really want to do it, do it. I will never tell nobody not to, but I'm going to show you the data first. And if you still want to do it, I say take your chance to do it, regardless of the fact. But remember, you knew all this going in. Don't go in blind. Go
Yep.
in knowing what's next.
Well, there's a huge part of to educate yourself before you take the plunge of buying the truck,
Mhm.
because what do I say? Once you buy the truck, you're now a business owner. You're not
Yes.
just a truck driver. So you have to
Yes.
know the business end and the CDL safety driving
Mhm.
end of things.
Mhm.
All right. So you're moving from dispatching back to being a driver, right?
Yes.
Which a lot of people would say, and candidly speaking, I even said it myself, that I
Mhm.
felt like it was a step back for you.
Yes.
What made you decide to do that?
The comfortability level, like honestly, like I know my truck, I'm comfortable there. I like a lot of peace, so I like to be by myself a lot of the time. So I don't know. I want to take a step. I think I'm just in a space in my life where I wanna kind of just focus on me and the family and give my energy there first. So I think that's what the truck is bringing me. It's bringing me that peace, that
So
not having to
you don't have
give.
to see and deal with me every day.
No, no. Listen, you ain't going nowhere, most definitely. You gonna be there whether I'm in the truck or I'm on Mars. You gonna be there. For sure.
Oh, we're going
For
to Mars.
sure.
I love it. I love it.
Uh,
All right. Next question. You ready?
okay.
Now that you've sat in the dispatcher seat, how differently are you going to operate as a driver? Do you think you're going to do anything different?
Ooh, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of paperwork. Like, oh man, checking in, checking out. Like, just
I forgot about
it,
paperwork. This man
it's
is
the
horrible at paperwork.
it's the tedious stuff. I can get the work done. The work not hard. That's not none of the problem. It's the tedious stuff, like hitting a button saying that I arrived. You know I'm here. I'm here. But I realize from this point I have to put that I arrived and that I'm here and that I checked in at on time. And this is my trailer number. This is my truck number. This is everything has to be right.
You do
Everything.
realize I'm
So no, no.
recording this so that I can throw this in your face later on, just in case you don't actually do it. Because
Listen,
we will. We've got record of it now, and everybody's going to watch this and know
yes.
you were horrible at paperwork.
Listen. Sweat.
Okay, so this question I kind of know the answer to, but just for prosperity's sake, what role would you go back to today if you had to pick just the one? Like, where's your heart at?
Driver. Well, I that's driving. That's no brainer. I drive. I'll drive. I'll drive. I will drive.
Okay.
I will drive. Definitely.
Now the question is, and we're still in this debate world of which one's better, employee versus owner operator. You guys will see a previous podcast that was taped between my dad and I, where the two of us were discussing whether it's employee 1099 W-2, pros and cons for each. We run a split fleet, meaning I have both employees and owner operators. So from my end, I don't necessarily care which one he wants to do. Obviously, employees got different costs related to my scenario. He's a driver. He does still have his truck. He parked it, which means we still got to kind of do a DOT on it and get it back up to par, but it's still an operatable. Is that the right word? Operatable truck? Operable truck? Whatever.
Operable.
Who put me on a podcast and I don't know how to talk? Anyway, so a truck that operates,
Right.
we're going to do that. And where are we at right now? Even the conversation we had this morning, let's just kind of spell it out. What are we thinking when it comes to which avenue driving you would want to do more of right now? Pros and cons for each.
Employee driver. Let's start with employee. Employee driver, I would say the pros is the responsibility level. Like you have to drive the truck, you gotta report, your safety concerns about the truck. As far as paying for it, you don't gotta pay for it at
Yep.
all. It's newer, it's nicer. It has AC for sure.
Yeah,
But
your truck doesn't have AC.
my truck don't have AC. But the cons of it, I would say, is that sharing the truck with somebody else. Like I have been behind our drivers and I know I done left things in the truck, but you typically the seat is back, it's down to the floor, you fall in, it's sticky stuff on the steering wheel, they didn't gas up, they hit stuff.
Yep.
But
You're relying on other drivers because we slip seat here,
yes,
our day cab slip seat. So what he's referring to is kind of going back in on a driver that he doesn't even necessarily know who's going to be in it during the day,
right.
and now he's following it at night or vice versa, whatever the case is.
And we have smokers or non-smokers, so if you get in the truck behind somebody that smoke, I ain't got to roll down the street with the windows down for a little bit.
Okay, so what's some financial pros and cons to employee?
Financially, you are financially stable for sure. The pros: you are financially stable. You have benefits. You have vacation. You have 401k, IRA,
Health insurance.
health insurance, just everything. I would say from a financial part, it's a safe choice. It's a safe choice for sure. So
Okay.
if you not the worker like that, you need to go employee, like, for sure.
I mean, it's a good way to put it. It's a safe
Right.
choice. And that's
Mhm.
where even the dispatching, I would make the argument where it was more set hours,
Yeah,
um, and therefore dependable pay when it came
absolutely.
to the hourly rate, salary, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It was
Mhm.
more dependable. How
Mhm.
is that between driving in general, right? Even if it's employer or owner
Mhm.
operator, driving versus dispatching, how does that, do you think that affects your family and home life?
Oh, it's definitely gonna be, as they was used to me being gone, and then they got used to me being at home by 6:30, 7 o'clock every day. But, I think it's gonna change a little bit. But one thing I can say that they are accepting to my decision, and they just wanna see me happy like I wanna see them happy, so they know this is what I love, and they not gonna go against it, like, my kids, my wife, they not gonna go against it.
I'm not gonna go against it either, but I'm gonna fight you tooth and nail until until it actually happens. I mean, I'll be candid. I don't like this. This is
Mhm,
not what I wanted. This is not what I thought I saw for you, but it's definitely your choice at the end of the day.
mhm,
And so we're just gonna navigate doing it the best way possible. So now we've got this kind of debate as to whether we're gonna run the old truck as the owner operator or we're
mhm,
gonna get you a different truck as an employee.
mhm,
we Health insurance was kind of one of the bigger questions that we brought up. What's it going
mhm.
to take for you to get, because prior to working as an employee in the office, you really didn't have solid health insurance,
No,
correct? So now
no,
you've been able to get, you're wearing glasses and everything. Like you got your eyes checked, you went to the
yeah,
dentist, you've been
yeah,
doing your regular doctor appointments, all of
mhm,
those things. So those
mhm,
are part of things to consider as well when you're going back into potentially being a 1099, a contractor.
right.
Um, Financially speaking, which one would you say is better?
Well, I haven't ran the numbers for health insurance as, like, individual out-of-pocket costs, but from my check and the way I go to the doctor with no copay and get stuff for next to nothing, I would say employee, definitely. Like, if you have health issues, if you have employee is be a better move for you, because you want to be healthy first. I mean, without your health, there's no wealth, and that's just the reality of it.
Well,
So,
that's a very common expense for
mhm,
people to not necessarily care about
mhm.
when it's this idea of owning your own truck. I own my own truck. I'm a big bad trucker.
I
And
mean,
then you realize that if you get a stomach bug, you can't do anything about it,
and
or
you
you're causing
can't
more debt on the other end
and
because
you
you're
can't
using
work.
healthcare.
And you got
Yep.
to be clear: when you own your truck or when you're an operator, no work, no food, and that's just the reality of it.
Yep.
Your time, your everything, it's all about working. So you have to take care of yourself on top of working. You got to remember that. You sit
Well,
out for whether it's a blown tire or a stomach bug. At the end of the day, you ain't making no money. And when you're not making money, you losing money too.
and that's where the argument of employee and PTO time or
Mhm.
employee benefit might come in. What would you say? We've talked about this. I've had a couple owner operators apply to come on with us, and two of them in particular in the last few weeks have come to me saying, I need at least 5,000 a week take
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
What's your thought process when you hear those numbers coming from owner operators and what they are kind of claiming they need as the minimum?
I would say go back out that door and find a company that is really gonna pay you, really, not really pay you $5,000 a week. And that's when you talking about take home. So that's after your expenses, tolls, plates. Go find a company and find them and tell them that 5,000. and you'll be right back. You'll come back. It's not possible. Not right now. I'm sorry. It's just not. Now,
Yeah.
if you would have caught me a couple years ago, I seen a $5,000 check.
Well,
But
in the middle of COVID, it was
right,
definitely
right.
easy
You
to
didn't
get
send a
that.
$5,000 check, but other than that, no.
Yeah. I would venture
It's
to
no
say
way.
that the numbers that I have heard out of some owner operators are still pretty unrealistic, although the market is changing. So
What do
there
you
is some
think?
evidence that it might go up. But I think to that point, a lot of times owner operators, they look at that giant number, want that
Mm,
giant number at the end of the day, and then they spend it.
I was exactly about to say it because I'm one of them. I'm
All right.
guilty of that because I didn't know that all this money is not my money. This is the business money.
Yep.
I'm spending the business money. And when you never seen that money like that coming that fast, you don't know really what to do with it, honestly. And when I say you're gonna spend it and then you think you can just get it right back, which you will, but then guess what? Now you at the the repair shop with a $3,800 bill.
Yep. Absolutely. Or
And then
taxes.
or
Uncle
taxes. Taxes
Uncle
is
Sam
another one.
saying, "Hey, wait, I didn't plan for taxes on this.
I no,
I didn't
you
get
don't.
enough deductions. I didn't make enough money, all of that
That
stuff."
money is not your money. It's not your money. And
It's a
that's
good way of putting it.
right. So you know what? You almost about to make my decision.
Ooh.
Am I going to the truck or my truck or your truck or I don't know yet. But I can say that I learned so much that if I do decide to do this again, I'm gonna do it a whole different way. I'm educated on the things that I did not know. I just knew I wanted to own a truck.
So how
I
much do
did
you think you should be saving, right? If you want to say, okay, your take home at the end of the week was 3 grand. How much of that 3 grand, which I think is a little bit more realistic than 5 grand a week,
okay.
but
Yeah.
how much during that 3 grand would you typically tell people to either save, put away, taxes? What's kind of that thought process on that number?
I would say if you got a 3 grand check, today's Friday. On Friday, pay yourself $1,000, right? That's for you, $1,000. The 2 grand, I can't even say all that. I would say 1,500 savings, 500 just maintenance, nothing
Okay.
else, just strictly maintenance. A
Well,
thousand to
even
the
that's an
door.
improvement, right? Because you didn't have a
Yeah,
maintenance
I did
account
not have
when
a
you
maintenance plan.
started.
I was going on the fly, swiping credit cards, and that's another thing. I used my own money. I was using my own money. I
Whoops.
no, I thought I was a big shot. You know, I realized, oh yeah, I'm different now. I learned.
Well, and see, that's why this whole process is why I wanted you on the show is because it makes it very interesting that you went from an employee, you had that experience, you went to an owner operator, then you went to a dispatcher, went completely around,
Yeah.
which to me personally, and this is just where I would not be a driver, is because I cannot stand the hours of truck drivers. And I say it proudly, I would never be a truck driver. I cannot stand not knowing what time I'm going to be home every day. I cannot stand knowing, like,
I
hey,
can
can
see
I
that.
make that Friday fish fry with my family?
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know. I'm still stuck in Illinois. No, thank you. So I think that's
I can
where,
see that.
too, I was so shocked
Mhm.
where it almost seemed like I was giving you an opportunity to have more of that home life, the
Mhm.
dependable paycheck, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And you're still opting to go in a
Yeah.
truck. So
Yeah.
where's the passion? I guess, what would be your descriptive words about the passion of like how you feel towards driving, that you are willing to kind of give up that stability, that kind of better work life balance, right? I think we can at least agree that it's a better work life balance
Yeah, it is.
being in
Definitely.
the office and being a driver. Okay, so what's some of that descriptive thought process on why you want to be a driver?
I would say,
So make you feel free.
man, it's something about just being outside and you just getting things done. Like I think because if you notice, I kind of do that in the office. Like I have to get things done,
Hmm.
and I feel like I can have somebody do them, but I like to do them myself. Like I like to figure out. I'm a fixer, and that's just what it is. I'm a fixer, and I like to get things done. I like to fix them. So I think I'm doing the work. Like I feel the physical work of it, like making it happen.
Do you, after I thought about it, like after you told me you wanted to be back as a
Yeah.
driver, right? You want to know one of the major things that I was like, I should have known that he was going to want to be a driver again one day. Do you want to know? I don't think I ever told you this.
What was it?
It was the fact that you have not taken off your headset.
No, it's right here.
And that's exactly true, right? It's that stereotypical truck drivers wear the headsets,
Yeah,
right? They're always on the phone, they're always talking, they're always discussing something with everybody.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
you never really were able to move away from that.
Right.
Like, I'm convinced that if you were on a beach right now, you'd still have your headset with you. So
Maybe,
maybe,
maybe other
maybe,
parts.
maybe it's the theory that you can't. How does that saying go? You can take the person out of the house or the home or whatever,
Okay,
however that saying
right.
goes,
I know what you're saying.
right? You can take the person out of the truck, but you can't take the
Truck
driver out
out
of
the
the
bush.
truck.
Yeah,
Like,
gotcha.
it's still there for you,
There it is.
which means you're going to be doing this when you're 80, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope
Driving
so.
trucks still.
One thing I can say, you never took that from me though. Even in the office, like you said that, I want you to have your headset. Like I'm not gonna take nothing from you. Like this is what you can have, and you made it very comfortable, and you did it. You let me do it my way, and it,
I
it
did.
works. Like
I
that's
let I let you do it your way because in a lot of ways you were the natural leader to it.
Mhm,
Meaning like the drivers came to you before you were even in the office. Like that's how I started
mhm,
to see those skills that you had about talking to the drivers, communicating with them, getting through to them, teaching them as well.
mhm,
Because I caught on fairly quickly that things that I was telling you, you were quickly, you know, continuing that and telling other drivers that as well.
mhm.
And that was one thing I was super proud of. I was like, I need this guy in the office. He's gonna be the next name on the door. I thought for sure that was gonna be you. But are you happy with the experiences thus far?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Do you regret coming in the office at all or saying yes to my 45-day challenge that became 2.5 years?
I do not regret it. Like, in
Good.
fact, I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I got the opportunity. After I said no quite a few times until you put me in a position where it was like, come on.
I always get what I want.
And so you like, come on. And I mean,
Well, because
we
I
got a great
saw it.
relationship.
I saw it. There is definitely some pros and cons, and not everybody who's a driver can be a dispatcher, and not everybody who's a dispatcher can be a driver. I'll say it at the top of my lungs. I would not be a good driver.
Driver.
It just would not be my thing.
Watch out, Pam's on the road.
Oh yeah, no, 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 that would not be a good thing.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you're making the right move for you?
Yes.
Are you scared? There was a little bit of hesitation with that one. Are you nervous to go
Uh,
back?
it's more so like, you know how the transition, it can be smooth, but it's like, okay, I'm really here, right? I'm really doing it. This is so I have that in every stage where I move to, right? Where it's like,
Yep.
okay, now I have to adjust my brain, adjust myself to what I'm doing now, right?
Your
Even though I've been
sleep
doing it for
schedule's gonna get it though. Your
yeah,
sleep
so I have
schedule's
to
gonna get it.
just adjust everything to. So I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. Not that
Should
I
we
can't drive, but to see, to be back full time somewhere where I was gone for 2.5 years. So,
should we take a poll with the all the audience members and
Absolutely.
have them pull
Absolutely.
how long it takes before you message me again going, hey, just kidding. I want to come back in the office.
Definitely take a pause.
Just to be clear, I want to be a dispatcher again.
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show for sure.
Thank you for
I
having me.
love our story. I love the
Oh,
fact
yeah, it's
that
good.
we grew from being friends of friends
Mhm.
to being true friends and
Mhm.
also watching you grow. I mean, there has been a lot of wins in the growth department for you personally. I think for me, for the company, I mean, you've done an amazing job in the office. I'm not going to take that away from you for sure. We're sad to see you go, but you're not going far. You're still going to annoy the crap out of us every chance you get. I'm sure of
That's
it.
right. That's, that's right.
Perfect. Well, any advice, any last minute advice, thoughts that you want to give other drivers out there who are thinking about either, ending their career in
Mhm.
the dispatching role
Mhm.
or maybe buying their own truck? Any advice along the way? I mean, you're the perfect person for all of that.
I would say if you believe that that is solely what you really, really want to do it. Like you can fail at anything. Just do it, or you can succeed. Like that's the beautiful part. Like you don't know what you're capable of until you put yourself in that position.
Yep.
And I am a person that can say I did not know that I would be as good as I am in this position.
Well, and that
Like I
and
just
then
didn't.
that just hey, that's a Pamela's right, and you did you did good. But I think okay, so I think that's
Man.
also part of something that I just want to bring up is that, and I don't mean this in a cocky kind of way towards me, but
Mhm.
it took me pulling that out of you because you were a hard no when I
Yeah,
got brought up the
absolutely.
first time. You didn't want any part of it,
Absolutely.
and then by me forcing you to do it, it ended up becoming a huge part of your story and kind of
Mhm.
where you're at right
Mhm.
now. And I would encourage anybody who's thinking about whether it's changing into being an owner operator, going back to being an employee, being a dispatcher, that you have some type of a mentor to either lean on in
Mhm.
a way that says, yes, they're going to help me through this. They're going to know
Mhm.
the ups and downs. I'm a huge fan of obviously business coaches.
Mhm.
I've got one again. Shout out to Brad. We're mentioning him now twice in this
Mhm.
episode. But I've had numerous business coaches, and I think those type of mentors from a business standpoint, whether you're mentoring somebody in how to buy a truck, what
Mhm.
savings to put away, what how to be an employee, what to look for,
Mhm.
what are pros and cons to all of that. And I think it's a good mix to make sure that you've got a good mentor on your back to make sure that they're not going to let you fail either. And I wasn't going to let you fail. Still think
And
it's
you
a
and
little
you and
setback,
and
but I'm
and
not going to let you fail.
you know what? And I think that's the problem I had. I I always have known that you would be there for me, but when you told me like I'll never let you fail, it's different, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, all right, come on. Like if I feel like you got my back, come on, like I got
Aw,
your back, man. So
aw, I love you too. That's just how we roll here,
yeah,
right? I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
If you fail, I fail on some levels, right? Or
right.
on most levels, especially when you're my
Mhm.
employee. If you're failing as my
Absolutely,
employee, that's not going to
absolutely,
do me any good either. So
absolutely.
it becomes a win-win. Even if you want to not be, in the office daily, I'll accept
Listen,
it.
I'm still gonna talk to you every day like we talk. I'm still gonna see you every day.
I know. I know. All right. Well, we're wrapping up. If there's anything else you want to give us some wonderful advice, last minutes.
Last minute advice. Get out your comfort zone.
Ooh.
You don't know what you're capable of until you get out your comfort zone. And I'm really talking to myself. Like, get out your
Yep.
comfort zone. Like, you don't know what's ahead of you.
Yep.
Like, if you
Absolutely.
stay in that little circle, like you just don't know. So I
Absolutely.
think that would be my
Absolutely.
advice.
All
Oh,
right.
shout out to Debbie, my lovely coworker.
Oh, you just want to shout out to Debbie? Okay. Hi, Debbie. How's it going?
She said I had to shout her out. So
Nice. Nice. Very
yeah.
nice. All right. Well, again, this is Pamela Polyak. You're watching Hauling for Success. We had Cedric Young on with us today. You can comment below, ask any questions you want. I will be 100% ready to pass those questions on to him, as he's not going far. He's coming out of the office, but he's still going to hold that CDL and hold
Absolutely.
that steering wheel, right?
That's right.
Keep it going. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining Hauling Success.